Good morning. When I was growing up, I told you before, camping was a big deal for us. And as kids, my parents enrolled us and signed us up for Girl Scouts. And the first camping trip that we were going on, my sister and I, overnight in the mountains, sleeping bags, blah, blah, all of that good stuff. We had a whole list of stuff we had to assemble. We had to bring our mess kits. We had to have certain cooking items. We had to have ropes and Band-Aids and, like I said, pillows and all that good stuff. And we're supposed to go over that list with our parents and make sure that we had everything we need. So my mom and I were looking over the list that my sister and I would need. And there was this word on the list that neither of us knew. I was probably maybe in the fifth grade, fifth grade. Maybe it was fourth grade. Anyway, and so we gathered everything else on the list, but not that thing, because we didn't know what that thing was. And first morning, we wake up at the campsite. We had tucked in at night, you hear all the night sounds and everything, and you wake up and the troop leader says, okay, we're going to fry eggs over an open fire. I was like, oh yeah, this is really exciting. And so they said, whose mess kit do we want to use? And I said, mine, use my mess kit. I was like, okay. So she gets the butter or the oil, whatever, and cracks 2 eggs in my mess kit, and with a glove, she's holding it over the fire, and we watch it fry, and it's so exciting. And then she looks over her shoulder and she says, okay, Monique, get the spatula. And I went, oh no, that's that word. That was that thing that nobody knew, that no one in my house knew. And I said, I didn't bring one. And she said, it was on the list. And I said, I know, I didn't know what it was. And she said, well, didn't you ask your mother? And I said, well, my mother didn't know what it was either. Right? Because we grew up speaking another language in my house. And so one of the other girls says, well, I got mine. And she holds it up, and I went, oh my gosh, that's a schavertje. That's not a spatula. Is that what a spatula is? A schavertje. And it was a huge lesson for me. What we call things in different languages is equal to how we understand the message or the reality. What language does God use to speak to you? I'm not referring to literal language, right? I'm talking about heart language. Here we have the divine who can't be contained in any one space, right? As immense as the earth is, as the solar system is, as the cosmic forces. How does this immense divine being speak a word to us that we will understand, that fits into our tiny little head, and we can comprehend? And it's true that God does that, because all what God wants to do is communicate with us. And so the divine speaks one word that will fit into our mind. And that one word is a living word. And we believe that that word is God with flesh on. Jesus Christ is that single word that the divine speaks, that is completely reflective of who God is. And in that word, we come to know God. God gives us a definition of his immense divinity in the expression of one person, the Word, Jesus. So that we can understand what the heart of God is like, what the love of God is like, what the immense compassion and mercy of the divine is like for us. God translates God's immensity into something finite with a human heart that communicates to us who God is. So paying attention to the language that God uses with us is critical for us to understand the divine love for us and what else God wants to communicate.